Welcome to my video on the TI-84 plus CE calculator. In this video, I want to go over to using trigonometric or the inverse trigonometric functions. In the last video, I did the trigonometric functions. Now I want to talk about the inverse trigonometric functions. These are the little blue keys on your calculator underneath, right above the sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay, so the inverse trigonometric function, we're just going to do a little review first. Take a given ratio, maybe it's a sine, cosine, or tangent, and undoes it, the corresponding trig function. So here's your inverse trigonometric functions, the arcsine, which is also written as the sine inverse. It's not really an inverse to the -1. This is a point of confusion, really. This means the same thing. It's the inverse of the sine function, but it does not mean sine to the -1 does not equal to the reciprocal of the sine. So that's a point of confusion. Just want to make sure you understood that. And then the arccosine is equal to the cosine to -1, x, arctangent, tan inverse of x. Now if we take a simple example, remember from the last video, we did the sine of 30 degrees, that was equal to 0.5. Now if we take the arcsine of 0.5, or the sine inverse 0.5, we get 30 degrees. So one undoes the other. So let's take a look at some examples. First example is we want to find first we're going to put in degrees mode. Make sure it's in that. And then we want to find the sine of theta we know is, so the sine of theta is 0.63. Okay, let's turn our calculator on. And it is in the degree mode already, so I don't need to change the mode function. Down here it's already in degrees. Just leave that alone. So we're in the correct degrees mode. Now what we want to do is we want to take the second, and then the sine inverse is right here, right above sine, little blue. And then we want to do 0.63. Close the parentheses, enter. And that's equal to 39.05. I'm just rounding to two significant digits. That's degrees. So if we take, just to verify this, let's clear this. Now I'm going to take the sine of 39.05, and it's 0.62999. So it's within rounding errors, it's the same thing. So one undoes the other. Let's clear that. Let's do another example. Let's take the cosine of theta is equal to 0.25. So now the cosine inverse 0.25, let's see what degree that's equal to. That's going to be theta. So let's clear that. We've already cleared it. Second, there's our cosine inverse. Now we're going to put in 0.25. Enter. That's equal to 75.52, and it's rounding, so it's approximate. Now let's look at our tan function. Tan theta is equal to 1.8. And the tan function is not bound by -1 to +1 like the sine and cosine. It goes to plus and minus infinity, so you can get big numbers on the tan function. So the tan inverse of 1.8, let's do that. Let's do a clear and do the second tan inverse right here, 1.8, enter. And that's going to give us approximately 60.95 degrees. It's approximate because we have rounding errors. You can see there's a bunch of digits there. We're just rounding two significant digits. Now let's do an example, kind of a more practical example. Here is a wall, and a floor. And leaning up against this wall is going to be a ladder. So here's our ladder right here. It's got the rungs and the ladder. This is going to be a right angle since it's a right angle wall. Now we know the height of the ladder up on the wall is 12 feet. And we know the ladder is 15 feet long. So what angle is it leaning against there? Now the sine function is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the sine of theta, opposite over the hypotenuse, 12 over 15. And so theta is equal to the sine inverse of 12 over 15. We'll do that in our calculator here. Clear it. And we're going to take second sine inverse, 12 divided by 15, close the parentheses, enter. So theta is equal to 53.13 degrees. So that's the angle that the ladder is leaning against the wall. So you can use this sine inverse, cosine inverse, and tan inverse to find out relationships of triangles. There's kind of one practical example of it. Well, I hope you learned a little bit about the inverse trigonometric functions and how to use them on your TI-84 plus CE calculator. Well, thank you for watching.